Hey everybody, today I'm sitting down to make my art layout for the month of June for my little Gorjuss stamp series. Today I'm using this pretty girl. She is stamp number 39 of a Lost Heart, and I kind of had an image popped into my head when I looked at her. She is holding a little teddy bear and she's looking all kind of sad and really dark, like she's got a blue dress and a gray trench coat on, and she just looked really sad. So I thought to myself, she really needs a burst of sunshine and bears, I think. So bear with me as I try to bring the scene that popped into my head to life here on the page. I know I have the stencil from xxAmira. It's one of those big 12 by 12 stencils that has a different stencil in each quadrant. So what I'm doing now is I'm just putting it down and applying my distress crayon to the exposed areas. Now, the one thing I don't like about the distressed crayon is the little bits that are left over. So as soon as I pulled off the stencil, there were all these little bits still stuck. So that's just my only downfall. But other than that, I love distressed crayons. After you have wet them and have activated them and done what you need to do, you don't have to worry about them reactivating and smudging colors. So distress crayons are really my favorite thing at the moment. So what I'm doing here is I'm using, this is some just gray acrylic paint, and it's actually the color Dolphin. So basically I just wanted it to be a dark layout. Like I wanted it to be a gray, dull layout that has this beautiful burst of yellow, gorgeous, warm sunshine. It's the month of June here in Perth, and it is a bit cold. Some mornings are a little bit gray. Sometimes the sun comes out a little later on in the day, but sometimes it's just gray. And I thought, well, for this little girl, she had a gray day and then she just had a happy thought, and yeah, a little burst of yellow came out and brightened up her day. So this is the look I'm trying to achieve here. I think I got it right. Sometimes I think perhaps I should have inverted the stencil, like cut out the opposite layout so that it looks like there's yellow, because I think here it looks like there's gray bursting out. But anyway, you'll see in a minute once I've put the focal image down that it doesn't really matter if it's inverted or not, because I do cover that middle section. I'm just going over it now with extra yellow crayon to deepen that yellow. And then I just apply it straight on. At first I was applying it on my mat, and then I thought just apply it straight on. And that way you've just got different shades of yellow, and it just gives depth to the background. So while that's drying, I'm grabbing my Stampaholic and I'm going to be stamping out some images here. The first one will be the image of the little girl, and I did pull out the little heart, but I never ended up using it. I do have some heavy pound Nina Solar White cardstock. I love this stuff. It goes really well with the archival black that I use. It goes really well with the Sakura watercolor paints that I use, so good paper, and it never fails me. I'm using archival black ink, and I stamp her out, and then I grab this stamp set by xxAmira called Teddy Bear Picnic. This is an old one. This is, I think, from, like, I want to say 2016 maybe. One of my favorites. Definitely I got the paper pack, I got the 6x6 pad, I got the stamp set. Definitely one of my favorites. And I'm just going to stamp a whole lot of teddy bears, because the teddy bears are going to be what are giving her a whole lot of sunshine. So I'm going to do a whole lot of little ones, and even when I'm finished, when I think I don't need any more, I go back and make some more, because definitely need lots of teddy bears for this scene. So I'm going through my watercolors here, and I'm just showing you the three colors that I'm using. I've got a darker brown, I've got a like an umber brown, and I've got like a red sienna brown, and I've got like a yellow ochre. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to color in teddy bears with those three colors and mixing. So the light color goes down first, and then the dark color goes around the edges and then blends into the yellow, and then you go in one more time with the original neat color around the edges again and feather them out to make a really dimensional, really pretty teddy bear. And I'm not going to show you all of it because this did take about 45 minutes to make, and I think it was something like 7 or 8 bears. So I do apologize for my camera. I don't know why the exposure is not sticking here, and I might have to have a look at my camera. But just to show you here, that's how I did these two. And then I also just went ahead and colored in the girl. I didn't want to show you that. That's pretty boring. But I gave her a red trench coat so she popped out in the image. I'm just arranging my teddy bears here into a stack of teddy bears because it's almost like she was all gray, and then she walked into a room and she saw a whole lot of teddy bears all stacked up, and she was like, oh wow, that's so sweet, and immediately the room lit up from behind her. So I really love the imagery that popped into my head, and I hope I was able to make it come to life here on my page. So this is where I thought I needed a couple more teddy bears at the bottom left here, and I did go back in and redo them, and as you can see here, the teddies are a little bit different. I colored them in a little bit different. So when you color in for a project, do it all at the same time, because when you go back and repeat it, they never do look the same. And she goes to the right hand side there carrying her teddy bear, and I'm just going to apply PVA glue to the little appendages that are sticking out. Make sure that everything is nice and stuck down. So the next thing is the sentiment from the stamp set. It says, a friend is one of the nicest things to have and one of the nicest things to be, but I thought that it was too clustered up there and it was going to take up a lot of room. So I stamped it out on a piece of white paper and then cut it out in sentences, and then I was just going to arrange it to a better kind of formation for me. So I liked it better with the line up the very top and then it coming down in this way. So this is how it's going to stay now, and I'm just gonna stick it down with PVA glue. I'm gonna cover up one little boo-boo in the middle there, and that's why it has to be in that way. Next, I outline each of the words. I started off with my Sharpie, but my page was sort of still wet and my Sharpie stopped working, so black biro comes to save the day. So this is how it's looking now. I really loved it, and I stopped here, and then when I came back to have a look at it, I thought that it looked a little bit too clean, so to say, so I needed some contrast. So I went back in with a little bit of deep gray from my watercolor set instead of the acrylic paint, and I just added it to the darkness of the gray, and I thought that that allowed the yellow to stand out more and look more like a burst of yellow from like sunshine or Care Bear stare or whatever whatever is happening in this scene here. So thank you so much for joining me, you guys. I hope you have a little bit of warm sunshine wherever you are, and I'll see you in my next video.